guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is very special to me. It is our twin middle name reveal. Since my husband does not want to share the names before they are born, I asked if we could do a middle name reveal and just do like a sit down talk with me about the middle names and why we chose them, and he was totally fine with it. I've tried making like deals with him to try to get him to let me to reveal the first names to you guys. He's still just not on board with that yet. So I'll tell you guys what I'm planning on doing if he will come around to it. He's just still on the fence. My plan is to have him film a name reveal with me and then for us to post that once we are in labor or the day we go to get induced, whichever happens first. And that way it'll give you a video to know they're coming and what their names are going to be. So hopefully that compromise works. I've tried everything else. He's just not having it yet. So I'm going to be respectful to my husband and continue to not share their first names unless he just wakes up one day and goes, okay. So that's the plan that I'm working on right now. I'll let you guys know sooner to our birth, which is literally in like 9 weeks or so. I'll let you guys know what the plan is before then, of course, but I just wanted to update you guys on that. And if you are new, my husband and I are expecting boy-girl twins in about 9 weeks and a few days at the absolute latest, and we're very blessed to be welcoming these babies into our home, and I just can't wait for you guys to meet them. But I do have some videos coming up, the nursery tour, which I'm filming in right now, just some other things, our baby showers coming up, and we're just anxiously awaiting their arrival soon after the new year. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into this video and I will talk to you guys about their middle names. So if you're new, then you won't know, but we are having a girl and a boy, and the girl is actually our third daughter and the boy's our first son. So a lot to be excited about. Our girls are really excited to get another sister, and we're excited to have our first son as well. I love being a girl mom, but I'm so excited now that I'm going to be a mom of both and get to experience both. I never thought I'd actually have a son, to be honest, because when you only have one gender or the other, I feel like it's so hard to picture yourself with the opposite gender. So I do want to start with the boy's name first, just because the girl name, something recently has happened that has kind of made it really hard to talk about her name now, and I'll get into that later in the video. But so for starters, our boy middle name is John David, and this is pretty much a very straightforward name. John David is actually both of our dad's names. John is my stepdad's name, who spent a great deal of hard work raising me, and I have so much love for him as a person, and I just feel like he was always meant to be that father figure in my life. I still have a relationship with my biological father, who moved up here to the Midwest to be near us, but I just felt in my heart that it was right to have John as my stepdad's name and my son's name. He never had any kids of his own. He just had my sister and I, and we gave him the hardest time growing up, but he's such a wonderful person. And David is my husband's dad's first name, also my husband's brother's name. So we both knew we wanted these names in there. We thought maybe we would play around with doing a variation of one of their names for a first name, but the first name for our son, pretty much we always knew, I feel like, inside what his first name was. And John David, actually hyphenated, is already a name on its own, so it really kind of worked out for us. And I'll tell you guys what John David means. So John is actually a Hebrew name, and it means God is gracious, which is very funny because my name Anna has the almost exact same meaning, which is very, very cool. And I just think it's such a beautiful meaning because God is gracious. He blessed us with these twins, and we are so much forever grateful. The name David is also of Hebrew origin, which is nice, just happened to fall that way. And the meaning of David is beloved. So beautiful meanings for both of those names, beautiful meanings for us to be able to honor both of our dads in his middle name. And I love it all together. I love the hyphenated name. Obviously, if we were to monogram stuff, we would still use the J as the monogram because we are treating John David as one name. And I know actually 2 people in real life whose first name is John David. So that's why It doesn't bother me that it's hyphenated. I know that it bothers my mom a little bit that it's like a long hyphenated name, but that's just how it's gonna be, Mom. But yes, we love the middle name, and I think it goes so good with his first name. And if you missed my last video, we did do a baby name hint. So if you want to watch that, go watch it, because I'm about to tell you guys. But the boy's first name does start with an R. So his name is an R name with John David as a middle name. And we just love his name. It just feels like it was always meant to be our son's name. Okay, camera malfunction. Of course, every video, something has to happen. But on to our girl's name. So for our daughter, we also chose a family name, which was so fantastic. I love that we were kind of able to knock out some family members with both of the twins' names. And a lot of you guys were asking if our girl would have an E middle name like her sisters. And because we're having twins, I'm just breaking that mold, and we decided to go a different route with the twins' middle names. My stepdaughter already had a middle name that started with an E, so when we had our daughter Aniston, we gave her an E middle name as well, as something to kind of link the girls together. But like I said, because we're having twins this time, we decided not to do that, and I think it's fine because they're going to be their own little unit, of course, and Paige and Aniston are kind of already their own little unit as well, so I don't really feel like we had to do that. So for our girl's middle name, it was really kind of one that just I think always knew as well that we would go this route once we found out we were having twins. And her middle name is actually my great-grandmother's name, who is still with us, and I love her so much. We almost named our daughter Willa after her, but my husband just couldn't quite do it. He just wasn't a really big fan of the name, so we went with her middle name, and it's going to be our daughter's middle name, and that is the name Faye. And that's actually also my mom's middle name as well. So my mom and great-grandmother have the same middle name, which is fantastic. I'm so glad I could pass it down to our daughter. And our daughter is the W name. So her name is W name with Faye as the middle name. And we just love her name. And Faye means fairy, which I think is just such a cute little meaning. And I don't know many Fays. All the ones that I know, of course, are older. But, you know, when we found out we were having boy-girl twins, and the names we kind of just figured out like right away. I think maybe because we were trying so long and it was a long process that we just kind of, when it came time that we knew what we were having, the names just kind of fell right into place, which is, I think, is good for us, because I was worried about us going to the hospital with no names. So I'm glad that they have their names now. And for her middle name, it's very special anyways. But recently, in the past few weeks, we have found out that my great-grandmother has cancer. She's in her late 80s, and it's definitely not something that we ever expected to hear. When I got the phone call, it wasn't even something that I considered, because she's lived a really long, healthy life. And unfortunately, this is something that we just found out. So now more than ever, I'm just so attached to her, and of course her name. And, you know, with our babies coming in 9 weeks, I hope that she's here to see them. And well, obviously we live in Iowa, so she wouldn't be able to travel up here. But, you know, I don't think that it's going to be what we're thinking that it could be. Unfortunately, what they found isn't where it's coming from, I guess. They're having to do scans literally this week as we speak to find out where the cancer is originating from. So I don't know much at this point, and it's really scary because it's very unknown. It could be something as small as, you know, a few treatments or removal, or it could be terminal. And, you know, she's in her late 80s, and fighting cancer is just probably not something that she's going to want to do. We're not really sure yet, but it's just something that I wasn't expecting. But luckily for us, when we announced we were having boy-girl twins to my family, we already immediately knew what we were going to be using for the middle names off the bat. So I was able to tell her at our gender reveal party in Alabama that we were naming our daughter after her. So it really just kind of worked out, and my heart is very happy that she already knows our daughter's being named after her, and it is the first baby that's being named after her, and she was just delighted with joy. And I have a video of us telling her that, and it's a very, very special, and I will keep that forever, and I can't wait to show it to my daughter whenever she's old enough. So very, very special. So yes, those are our twins' middle names, John David and Faye, and I love them. They're so important to us. Now, their first names are not family names. They're just names that we both love, and I just love that balance of having first names that you just kind of pick what you really, really like, and then, you know, being able to pay homage or whatever that word is to your family for the middle name, because we haven't done the middle name thing with the family before. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm so excited to share their names when they do come, and hopefully my husband gets on board with a name reveal for once we go into labor. But that's going to be all for this video. Please subscribe if you want to follow us on this just over 2-month journey to having twins. It's so unreal, and we're so happy, and I just can't not smile when I talk about them because it just feels so unreal. We have a long journey behind us and still a lot more ahead of us. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.